Hey, what's up, everyone? Just gonna do a video here on what oh, what's going on what I see in the markets. I just want to kind of go through some charts here on the major indices and maybe some of the major stocks, and then just kind of put my ideas on video of what I'm seeing here. I think we're just kind of at a critical point on whether this uptrend continues or we falter here. So we're just kind of like we're in limbo here. So just really quick, here we go. I'm going to start off with the S&P futures. Um, I'll start off on the daily here, daily chart. Yeah, you can see on Friday. Usually I use you see the pink line, right? That's I use the pink and the green line for moving averages for momentum. Those are the 8 and 21 day EMAs. And as long as the trend holds, especially if it holds above the pink line, we're in a very fast momentum uptrend, right? And that means just keep pressing long and just stay long, stay exposed long. Your opinions don't matter. Once we start closing below that pink line, like say here, you gotta get a little cautious, right? Just kind of, we're still holding momentum, the 21 day. If we still hold the 21 day, it's still great momentum. You just want to hold above that level. But what we've got this week, first you see it here, we got to close here, but then we close back above the 8 day, which shows momentum was still intact. As you can see, the stocks this month have just been absolutely killing it, right? So um, this week though, we got a couple closes below both the 8 and 21 day, and now we're right at the 50 day. And I would even possibly argue that we did close just barely below it, right? The close on Friday was 36.9650. The 50 SMA is at 3700. So barely like 3.5 points, 3.5 handles below it, right? Now, it's just very hard to say from here because sometimes this could be a bear trap, right? People see this and they're like, okay, time to short. People go all in short. We did have a lot of volume on Friday, so that's something to note as well. But today's open in the futures would be telling when this opens at 3 p.m. So we're just kind of in limbo here. Bulls are most likely either selling or just being very cautious. And then you have the Bears thinking this is short, right? We broke below yesterday's low, right? We're breaking below the 50 SMA. I mean, why not short, right? That should be a conviction to short. Not only that, but if you look at the MACD below here on the bottom of the screen, I don't know if you can see it right here, where kind of like the crosshairs are. You can see they're running bearish on the daily. So we got a lot of bearish signals here. So ideally, what you want to do is just kind of cut positions you're not committed to. Start battening down the hatches. Put on some hedges. The best hedge is honestly is just to get out of a position, especially if you're not committed to it. Reduce size. Raise some cash and just wait. You know, I mean, today we could gap up over 3,800 and continue on, and yeah, you missed that move, but you know what? Better safe than sorry. So let's go to the weekly here. On the weekly, breaking momentum levels on a larger time frame. MACD still positive down here. If I can get that cross here, still positive down here, but it's close. Close to I would say kind of neutral here. But overall, this trend is still intact. This momentum is still intact, and it wouldn't be an issue even if we got down to 3,600. Um, so probably another 100 handles down from here. We hold that level, we're still good. We're still in the game. We just need a dip to buy into. That's what that would tell me. If we start breaking 3,600 and closing the week, if we close this Friday below 3,600, I would say even take more precaution. And then we go to the monthly, let that load. You can see we're a little hot here, especially on the largest time frame. Here this is your March pandemic low, right? Last year, and you can just see how far up we've come, right? It's just pretty much straight up. But we do need a test, and on the larger time frame, 3,400 ish is what I'm looking at to hold, the high momentum. We can get down to like 3,200 and still be fine. If we get down to 2,800, and you're still in positions, you're going to be hurting, right? So that's why I'm saying just raise some cash. We're above that pink line. We're floating way above it. We have to. I mean, we don't have to, but the odds are that we come back and test those levels, right? We need to test support. We need to get dip buyers back in. We need to get people back into the market. Getting a little overextended. People don't want to put money to work up here, right? They're just waiting. So just wait till what we do at 3,400 on a larger time frame. This is especially useful for very long-term investors, right? Especially if you're just keep putting in your monthly flows, right? Don't worry about it. But if you're looking to add more cash, if you're looking to add more cash, do so at 3,400, maybe a tranche there, maybe like 10% more than what you usually put. If we get down to 3,200, or maybe put another tranche in down to 2,800, which would be which would be pretty crazy, right? Like, I mean, this would be a pretty big move. But then start really adding some cash down there, right? Buying that dip. So just some ideas there, right? MACD, pretty hot, right? Very bullish. I'm still very bullish on the long term here. I see no reason to begin scared or to be reducing long term positions, right? When I'm saying reduce positions, I'm talking about short term traders, active traders, day traders, right? People that swing trade, riding trends, right? Though that's what I'm talking about. But for long term, we're still fine. We're good. We're just a little hot right now. Expect a dip. Um, you for long-term accounts, you don't want to be touching those accounts. You don't want to be actively moving money. Otherwise, it's just going to become a swing day trade account, right? So you just want to keep putting in your monthly flows. Watch for dips like in March, right? Those are the dips where you really want to put extra money to work, and then you reap the reward, right? Take some profit, especially if you haven't taken any profit since down here. I know some of you have been putting money down here. It wouldn't hurt to take some profit. You know, pay yourself out. Maybe wait on this macro dip on the monthly time frame. Wait for those levels I labeled out for you just now, and look to put that money back into work, right? If it doesn't happen, just keep putting in your regular monthly flows, right? And you'll have that extra cash sitting on the sideline for when we do have a dip, because there will be a dip eventually. All right, I want to talk about big tech. Talk about the Nasdaq futures here. I'll just start off on the monthly time frame. Um, Extremely hot, man. This sector has been phenomenal. I mean, look at that. You know, we had a we had a pretty nice dip in March here, and but we're getting pretty up there. But I felt January has been a month where it's just kind of digesting gains, which is showing me that it's very bullish, right? There's not really much of a sell-off in big tech. It's just been lagging. You have the small caps ripping, all these trash stocks and just SPACs and like names we probably never even heard of, just absolutely ripping. And and you just have to be able to identify those things. You can't just trade one sector and stick with it. If you trade actively, you got to be able to identify hot sectors and just get into those names, find setups in those names and trade them, right? Opinions don't matter. Price always matters. So, but over January, especially like the big FANG names, they just all been kind of lagging, right? Just really not moving. But with that said, they've been holding near their highs, which is tell me it's very bullish, right? There's not a lot of sellers, people just holding. It's just the trend, or just the interest isn't there to put in more money. So ideally, we would keep chopping around here in tech around this 13,000 level for maybe like another month or even 2 months. And even ideally, if we could just get down here to like below 12K on the Nasdaq, even down. I mean, I wouldn't like to see it down here, in the 10K range. I mean, that would still be holding momentum on a larger time frame. It's just you don't want to see big tech sell off that much, right? It would be even more bullish if big tech held up here for at least a couple months, 2, 3 months, right? Let these moving averages catch up. Let the MACD cool off a bit. Just let things reset and just digest up here, which would be really bullish. Um, this would also create a sense of FOMO for investors that are on the sidelines that have sold and are expecting to dip, right? That creates the largest FOMO of people, because a lot of people get out. People like, oh, tech is lagging, maybe it's due for a dip. They sell out, right? And they're like, okay, I'm gonna wait for the dip. They don't get that dip. And what happens when it starts moving up again, and when the interest and the money starts flowing back into there, you create FOMO, and then you create another run, right? So that's ideally what I would like to see happen. But the alternative, yes, we get a dip down to 12, 11, even 10K, 10K Nasdaq, not a big deal, right? So either scenario would work. Weekly time frame, let's go here. Still bullish. I mean, holding momentum there, holding that pink line, right? MACD, neutral, has cooled off, as you can see over the past like month or two, couple months. We just kind of been chopping around and letting these moving averages catch up, letting things reset. Um, as it's possible, big tech could lead. I mean, you saw in the past week how money started flowing in, seemed like to be flowing into like Apple and Netflix, right? After the Netflix earning really ignited that. So this could be where money rotates back into quality names out of these small caps, back things back to normal in a sense, right? Where big tech is leading. So just keep an eye on that. That could lead the market going forward. Daily time frame, we'll see. It's broken, right? The momentum is broken on the daily time frame. Uh, I would even suggest even looking at possibly buying the dip at, the 50 SMA. That's the yellow line, around 12.7, 12.5, right? Start looking at big tech, right? Just look for names that should be participating, um, or even names showing relative strength. Like the Netflix, Apple. Apple kind of sold off on Friday, but just worth just watching for a dip, right? Um, MACD bearish, getting bearish on the short time frame. For swing traders, day traders, right? This is very important, because you have a bearish divergence here. The trend is not in your favor if you're going long, and to short here, it's very difficult. You're shorting a savage bull run right now, and it takes a very precise process to short. You can't just drop in shorts, buy puts, and hope for the best. You're gonna really get hurt. So, because you're gonna have rallies, and those rallies can last longer than your puts can last, or whether how long you could stay in the position, right? No matter how right you are in the end, right? I mean, it could squeeze you out and create some headaches. So I'm not big on shorting. me personally, but if you're good at it, that's your game. So just make sure to define your risk. But yeah, so on the short-term swing trading side, I'm just waiting, watching for a good dip, wait for a reversal in trend, uh, look for things to set back up, right? So that's what I'm looking for there. Small caps, the Russell right here, right? Breaking down. Uh, Bearish. It's been bearish for pretty much the week, right? Things have been slowing down as we've seen this past week, uh, taking risk off the table. I mean, but we've had a hell of a run since November. Look at that. You know, Small caps have broken out of a huge just a huge range that it's had over the years. Let me just bring it up here. We'll go to the monthly, and you can see since you know over the past 3, 4 years, this thing has just been kind of just chopping around. You know, Small caps haven't been, like I said, I guess lack for a better word, just great, right? Like a great hold and to really take advantage of a run, right? So when it broke out here, it had a monster run, and we really profited off of that. So that's why it's important to identify hot sectors, especially what happened over the past 3 months in the small cap. Especially, I didn't catch the first month, but pretty much the past couple months solid. I've traded more trash names in the past couple months than I have in like the past 10 years. So I mean that's got to say something. Usually I trade the apples, the fangs, futures. That's more my game. Options, right? Selling options on these names and just collecting premium. But I saw the opportunity there. You got to switch gears. You know, adapt to the market, right? The long was working, chasing was working, but you have to understand that it doesn't last forever. These chase, like if you became accustomed over the past couple months to chase stocks, it's time to pump the brakes because eventually it's not going to work, right? And we started seeing hints of that this week. I mean, it could continue on, but you never know. So just be aware of that. I mean, you can see on the monthly time frame, the MACD, super hot, right? Like it needs to cool off. It's been crazy. I mean, doesn't have to, but it needs to, right? Look how far we are up from the 8 SMA. It's around 1750. We're at 2060 right now, the price. So just kind of be aware of that on the macro time frame. We're just kind of overextended. I wouldn't be jumping into names blindly. Just be very methodical with the small caps. Weekly, still holding momentum. I mean, MACD is cooling off, holding the 8 SMA. I mean, this thing could keep going. Maybe a week or two of consolidating up here above 2000, and then we can go again, like my last post, speaking of, you know, the only difference between now and the crypto era of 2017 and the dot-com 99 dot-com era is that we haven't seen stocks going up thousands of percents, right? Crazy names just running, everything gapping up, right? Like, I mean, that's when we get really close to the end. Right now, we've started seeing a hint of that, and I think we're in the midst of that type of run, right? So, um, it's possible that small caps could be the ones that lead, right? And usually, small caps, when people start investing in small caps, that's usually close to the end, usually close to the end of a macro run, right? So just be aware of that, right? Like for this past decade plus bull run, it's been big tech leading, right? Big tech, not really small caps. Small caps haven't participated. So when money is looking for alpha in the small caps, that's when you got to start thinking, okay, this is not normal, right? People are starting to look for value in names, in trash names, in small stocks and penny stocks, right? That's when you know, that's when the end is near. Not saying that it's going to happen now. Not going to say it's going to happen this year. It could be another year or two, especially small caps breaking out. I mean, after a huge multi-year range, right? So that move is going to be it's going to last longer than a couple months. That's going to be a powerful move. So just be aware of that. This could be the focus of 2021, right? Small caps. Just needs a little time to cool off. So let's see on the daily, MACD bearish, breaking momentum in the short term, you know. Ideally, you would like to see a test of the 50 SMA, yellow line around 2 grand, 2000. Hold there, maybe chop around or do a V-shaped recovery, right? And then keep going. So just be on watch for this. Um, for long term, I mean, I wouldn't long term invest into small caps, I mean, that's just not my game. It works for some, but not for me. For small caps, it's more about momentum, swing trading, maybe a couple weeks, maybe a month max, right? For some positions. But right now, momentum is slowing, so I don't want to be swinging these small cap names. So I've cleared a lot of my watch list out. Most of it was small caps, names I never heard of. So, but just keep it on watch. Big tech could take over for now while small caps digest. Yeah, that's pretty much the indices, major names. You got Apple here. I think long term Apple's a great investment, but it looks good. I mean, I'm not gonna go too much into these. Just interesting just some interesting thoughts to note and just to be wary of. Um, we've had an insane month. Actually a couple months, few months even, where stocks have just been ripping, right? So, just take care out there. Trade your plan, tighten things up now. I wouldn't suggest chasing anymore. The chase has been working, but I would be I would take care on that going forward because I don't think it's going to be working for the short term right now. Things have to cool off. Things have, especially the whole GameStop deal, AMC and those short squeezes. Um, and then I think what Robinhood did, not only Robinhood, but all these other exchanges just restricting trading on specific names has really, it pretty much poured cold water on small caps, right? On this huge small cap run. It poured cold water on it and kind of brought people back down to reality and just uh, taking precaution, I feel. That's what I'm thinking right now. And give it a couple weeks, see how this plays out, and they might be right back at it, right? And then we forget about this whole debacle and the and the party goes on. So, but for now, let's see how the futures open up today, which is going to be very interesting. Um, I honestly think if we gap up green at open, that's not a good sign. Mostly when that happens, we'll be selling off by Monday morning. So um, a gap down, I think is a good chance for dip buyers to get in and squeeze the shorts out, right? So yeah, just worth watching and just taking note. So uh, stay safe and just watch your process. You know, watch your process. Adhere to your risk management, right? Have proper money management in your trades. Don't oversize uh, because things can go against you. So keep risk in check and stay small, trade small. Um, because that will keep you in this game in the long run, especially right now in this time. Today, this coming week is going to be a real telltale sign of where we're heading. So just be careful. I wouldn't be YOLOing anything. All right. See you guys.